the boys basketball program down there, Carey Palermo. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
You got it.
Coach, first and foremost, I mean, I know you guys aren't shy to this part of the tournament, but you guys, of course, scheduled a tough schedule again. You guys had your lumps. You rode the roller coaster of the regular season, but you're right back where you were about a year ago. You got a tough matchup here, but just talk to me a little bit about not only this season and what you've seen growth-wise from the team. Talk to me also on what you just saw against Crestview with the guys and what you thought the keys to that win were.
Well, Crestview, I know their record, wasn't very good. They were a low seed, but, they've lost a lot of games this year by 4 or 5 points or, the last couple minutes.
Beg your attention, please.
Got the announcements coming on right now at school. Sorry.
Monday, Running Madness.
Hold on one second, guys.
So the Shamrock Raffle is going very well. We have total of 51% of all students participating. And those students who already
all right, it's a little bit better. Crestview was a pretty formidable foe. They played extremely hard. They shot the ball really well. We did not shoot the ball well. They off of us in our half-court man offense. It was really a struggle for us most of the game. But at the end of the day, our seniors really stepped up, and some players for us really stepped up toward the end of the basketball game. And we made plays, made enough plays to win the game. And that just from the whole year, we really only have one player back from last year that had the same role as he's had in previous years. The other 8 varsity players that we had are all assuming new roles, and all of them just throughout the course of the year have just grown collectively as a group, figuring out their roles, carving out their roles. We've had some younger guys, Rocco Turner and Ashton O'Brien, really step up and, really take a more of a scoring role for this year. We really didn't expect that as early as they did this year. And, we've all just kind of built into a pretty cohesive defensive team. And when we score enough points, we give ourselves a chance to win.
Now we're in the Ursuline gym.
Right, I teach here, yeah.
It's awesome, Coach. We got to talk about this because now it's pertinent. I mean, you're wearing the Mooney. You coach at Mooney. You teach at Ursuline. What's that kind of dynamic like? And obviously the big rivalry when you get to be a part of it. What's that kind of like for you to be a part of both schools?
It's nothing. I mean, it's really. I don't really look too far into it. I win here. I played here. I coach at the rival school. That's about as far as it goes, to be honest with you. I'm 35 years old now. It's high school basketball. It's about the players. It's about the teams. I don't get too caught up in that.
Looking at this team, though, this season, and we talked about riding the roller coaster, but you guys are catching fire at the right time, winning games at the right time, too. Talk to me a little bit about this matchup with Liberty, what you see that the Leopards do really well, and what you think you guys are going to be able to counteract, and what you guys need to do well in order to get this ball game as a victory.
So Liberty's a really well-coached team. Coach Lamb has done a great job the last couple of years. They're very talented. They got 3 guards that are really good, led by James Davis and DeAndre Venters. Those guys are really good in the open floor. They're very good creating their own shot off the dribble. They're going to present a challenge that we really haven't seen much this year. They're very good in the open floor. I think they'd rather play like in the 60s and 70s, which might be a challenge for us. We just got to try to find a way to slow them down with our press and offensively, just take care of the ball, keep them off the glass. They do a really good job on the offensive glass. Just the little things. That's kind of what we hung our hat on the entire year. We have 15 wins with this group, and they're really good at all of the little things. I don't think we're the biggest team, the most athletic team, but, that's just what we do.
Liberty might do a couple of things different than anybody on your schedule, and they might be a little bit unique, but you have played teams that like to push the ball, like to score a lot of points that your defense has been able to handle and get the wins against. How much do you think your schedule and the teams that you've played this year have prepared you for this moment and this district tournament?
The schedule's been brutal the entire year. I don't think many teams in our district, have played, first of all, the SVC just with, Ursuline, Cheney, and East playing those two teams 2 times each. Played Boardman twice, Struthers, Howland, Erie, McDowell. There really isn't anything that we haven't seen this year. How does it prepare us? Just maybe if we get into a situation where maybe another team throws something at us that we didn't expect. Maybe we're playing a team has a little bit of size that maybe we're not used to as a Division III team. There's nothing these kids aren't used to. I I got a couple of friends in coaching now that really all it comes down to a lot of the simple things in basketball. The other day we were BSing with a couple of guys and he kind of yelled at me. He was like, "Hey, listen, man, you're either going to play man or they're going to play zone. You either have an offense for both or you don't." And there's nothing new that we haven't seen.
Looking at this team too, Coach, I mean, you guys are ones that don't have a whole lot of hype, but you find ways to win in other departments too. And I credit the guard play of you guys, and Mick Hergenrother does a great job of that. Talk to me about his contributions and just moving the ball and getting those open looks for guys, how influential he is in contributing to that, and how great the team has been in just getting that open look by moving the ball.
Mix everything you want in a senior leader. He's a 3-year starter for a reason. He has incredibly high basketball IQ. He works extremely hard. He does a really good job of understanding what his strengths are and what he does well. He's had to assume more of a scoring role this year as opposed to year past. I think he averaged around 13, 14 points per game as a junior. This year he's around 20. Our offense is kind of geared toward getting him in a position to attack, put some kind of pressure on the defense, whether it's for him or creating for others. We're not the biggest team. We're not a team that's going to pound it inside 15, 20 times, but we are blessed to have, 4 or 5 players that can really shoot the ball well from outside. So we like to spread the floor a little bit and allow Mick to kind of create for those guys. And, when they collapse on him, he's very good, at hitting the open man. Mick's right now, Mick is the second all-time assist leader at Cardinal Mooney. On top of that, he's going to be a guy he's scored over 700 points. He's just a great all-around player, and the players really know how to play off of them. Most of our guys come from like 3 grade schools, St. Charles or Holy Family or, some other public schools in the area. They all know Mick, and Mick's been one of the better players since he's been in the 5th grade. So they're all used to playing around him and with him.
Coach, we call it riding the roller coaster. You can call it riding momentum, whatever you want to call it. This team has been able to bounce back from some tough losses. They've been able to split with some teams that have beat them earlier in the season. Talk about this team's ability to keep momentum through the tough schedule and the mental toughness of this team that you've seen throughout the season.
We have a saying on our team. We call it the next play, and we kind of try to use that for everything that we do, whether it's the next game, the next play in a game, the next drill we're doing in practice. You just move on and keep your head down. To be honest with you, I know we're 15-9. I know we have 9 losses. I know it looks like if you look at our schedule, we've won 3 in a row, lost 3 in a row, won 5 in a row, lost 3 in a row. It looks like a roller coaster. There was really only one game we really didn't show up mentally prepared. We really didn't show up and have the fight that we usually have. That was the first time we played Ursuline. The other times our kids have laid it on the line. I can honestly look at them and say, like, there's nothing more we could have left out there on the floor. Like, even this past Friday night, we didn't play very well against Crestview, but it wasn't because of a lack of effort. It wasn't because of a lack of mental focus. We didn't make shots. You hit the nail on the head. We take a lot of outside shots, and we've been pretty good with our guard play throughout the year. But, when you have smaller guards and their strengths are shooting the basketball, most of your shots are going to come from 15 to 20 feet out. You're going to go through shooting slumps. You're going to go through, games where you can't miss. We played Boardman back in January. They beat us 46-39. I mean, we scored 39 points. Couldn't buy a bucket. Then we play them, 3 weeks later, and we hit 11 threes or 12 threes, whatever it was. It wasn't a difference of effort, game plan. The game plan was the same. We just made shots. So how did we handle that? There really hasn't been much of the rah-rah speeches or worrying about these guys' mental psyche. We have 6 seniors that are battle tested. Like you guys said, they've been through it. They've been in this game before. They've made it further than this before. we just lean on them to provide leadership to the younger players, and the younger guys are following because they've laid the groundwork for them.
No matter if you're at Ursuline or Mooney, you know that support system for boys basketball and just athletics in general is always great. So how important is the Mooney faithful going to Salem in this one, and how important have they been making that roller coaster ride a little smoother throughout the season?
It's very important. You know, our kids, just like any kids, they enjoy playing in front of a crowd. You know, we have a great student section. We have a great following, especially the last couple of years. You know, no coincidence you start winning more the last 3 or 4 years, more people start to show up. When we get to the big games, you know, we tend to show out. And like I said, we're a defensive-minded team. We like to force a lot of turnovers. And, you know, when we're on defense and that crowd's making noise, and it really puts a lot of pressure on the offense to hit the right guy and be able to attack. And, you know, when we're rotating and flying around, you know, it's kind of weird that the noise can kind of drown out everything else, and we really feed off of that.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, helping us preview this district semifinal game that you have tonight and talking more about this program. We wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we can talk to you again real soon about more tournament games.
I appreciate it, guys. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Coach.